Welcome back for another helping of oysters, clams, and cuts presented by Bolin Media. I am Ross Bolin here with Barrett Dudley to discuss and review episode 3 of Task on HBO. Another banger, Barrett?
Yeah, I would say so.
A banger in the mouth?
Sure. Cuts. That could be double or triple entendre, right? Did you think about that?
Like cuts like cut with a knife?
Sure. Cuts like leather.
Cuts like the leather vest.
Cut as in cutting the product.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Cutting the fent.
Yeah, that was intentional.
Yeah, so...
I'm deep.
That's a good one. Yeah, it was a banger. Look, this was a monologue-heavy episode as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not positive that every single one worked. That was... I've got a couple of notes, but overall... Yes, another very solid episode that was quite enjoyable and quite propulsive, and we're just it's really getting us somewhere.
We got a text this morning, you and I did, from our buddy Dave over at Washed Media, who said each Task episode is better than the previous. So mainly, I was teeing you up here to see what your thoughts were, because
I didn't think. No, I
disagree.
I sort of disagree.
I disagree.
I thought episodes 1 and 2 were maybe stronger than episode 3.
And it's kind of to be expected. Like, this was a little more just pushing the story along and getting to know our characters on a deeper level, less action than the prior 2 episodes for the most part.
Yeah.
And remember, it's a 7-episode season. At some point, they have to do a little bit more character-driven, monologue-heavy type stuff. So I thought that's what this was. It wasn't, I'm not saying it was a step down in quality or like the show went off the tracks or anything like that. It was still a good episode. I'm still very much excited about Task and on board with the season. This one just was my least favorite of the 3 so far.
Lucky number 11. 7 episodes.
A quick reminder up top.
Shouts to Josh Hartnett.
In addition to watching Task together and dropping companion podcasts on Mondays, we are also currently working our way through The Wire Season 1 exclusively on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles. Barrett and I are 8 episodes into Season 1 of The Wire with an ad-free companion podcast available on Patreon already for each of those. This week we will be doing episode 9. Our podcasts on The Wire are friendly to first-timers and rewatchers. Barrett's a first-timer. I'm a rewatcher. If you want to watch The Wire, one of the best shows ever made, for the first time, or it's been a long time since you fired it up and you want to do a rewatch, do it with us over on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles. We're having a blast.
Yeah, and let me tell you what. If you were ever curious about why the show is called The Wire, you'll learn in Season 1. You really will.
About 4 episodes in, it becomes incredibly evident. And then by episodes 7 and 8, they're saying The Wire.
Yeah.
Every 8 minutes.
Because me dumb, me very stupid, it probably took me until, I got it. Like, they're using wires and stuff like that. But it's really not until these recent episodes where they say The Wire 6-7 times an episode that I'm like, I get it now.
Yeah, we've got wiretaps, but just wait till the piano wire comes into play around episode 11.
Is that for garroting somebody's throat?
It's not really a thing. I just made it up.
Oh.
But yeah, The Wire. Patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles. Episode 3 of Task is titled Nobody's Stronger Than Forgiveness, which that title kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I just rewatched the episode, literally finished 5 minutes before Barrett walked in to start recording, and I'm still not entirely sure why that's the title of this episode.
Yeah.
It's just a long-winded title.
Yeah.
It starts right where episode 2 left off, basically. Robbie has just arrived home with this child that Maeve has just arrived back home with the child that Robbie kidnapped. She was going to go try to get him back out there, release him to the wild.
Right.
It didn't work out.
Nope.
She's had to bring him back home. So Robbie and Maeve are in the car talking. Robbie says the Darkhearts murdered his brother, and they had the nerve to show up at the memorial service and hug Maeve and shake Robbie's hand. Jason shook his hand with the same hand he used to beat Maeve's dad, Robbie's brother, to death.
His brains out. Beat his brains
out. I just was cleaning it up a little bit for the pod, but yeah, you took it there. And Robbie had to stand there and nod his head and say, "Thank you for coming." And so basically Robbie is using this as justification for stealing the Darkhearts' money.
Let him come again. Let him come shake my hand again. See what fucking happens.
And this had to be one of the ones that didn't work for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this one didn't really work for me either, which is unfortunate because I feel like when you have a swing and the miss at the top of an episode, it's harder to swallow.
Yeah.
And I was just all right, dude.
It was strange because Tom Pelphrey is delivering such a strong performance otherwise on this show.
Yeah.
And there was just something that I think starting an episode with this was difficult. Like, we didn't get the lead up into this.
To the explosion.
We just kind of started with it. And so it just felt like
it was harder to believe.
Yeah. Like, I didn't get warmed up enough
right.
for this to be super believable. There's also another thing happening here. I mentioned this in episode 1. There is something about Tom Pelphrey doing this Delco thing with his face and everything that reminds me of Jim Carrey. I'm just getting Jim Carrey vibes.
I don't know where you're getting that.
So he kind of looks like somebody DM us, get whatever it takes. Confirm somebody. I know somebody else out there is picking up on these vibes. And so when he goes into the part where he's like, I'm tired of living this life. All I'm getting is Lloyd Christmas saying, I just want to go somewhere where we know somebody that can plug us into the social pipeline.
Oh, God.
It's the same monologue, basically, about like being fed up with your sad-ass life.
Sure.
And there's just something that I'm just picking up on that, real ones will know that there's a Jim Carrey-ness to this, and I couldn't get that out of my head. So that added to it. And then on top of that, with the come shake my hand again, see what happens explosion that felt a little,
Well, it was just a little cheesy.
Cheesy, yeah.
Come shake my hand again. See what happens this time. It's like, well, you're not going to shake hands again.
Right.
You're just going to shoot each other in all likelihood. I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan. I love Jim Carrey. I'm not picking up on this at all, but I almost wish I was because it does sound fun. So Maeve tries to impress upon Robbie that he is ruining his children's life. And they're going to spend the rest of their lives hearing how he was a murderer and a thief and a kidnapper. And Maeve says he won't even make it to prison because Jason is going to kill him first. And that's when Robbie has his little freak out, screaming, let him come then. Let him what? Robbie says he's tired of his life, stinking like other people's trash. His kids asking him if their mother's ever coming back. He's tired of that life.
Tired of being a nobody.
It did remind
And most of all, I'm tired of having nobody.
Oh,
there it is.
That's deep.
Yeah.
The Jim Carrey one in Dumb and Dumber is better. So it did remind me that there's this missing mother situation.
Yeah.
She ran off a year ago. It makes me curious if she'll come back in the fold at some point and just muddy this whole situation up even more with one more dramatic character.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Robbie says he needs a few days before they take Sam to the police, that he's going to get $1 million, maybe more, in the next few days. And it seems like his plan, based on this back and forth between him and Maeve, it seems like his plan is to get the money, hide that money for his kids and Maeve, and then let the cops or the Dark Hearts do whatever they want with him, or like go out in a blaze of glory. That sort of is what I'm reading as his plan here.
It is. And again, this was like, this was another piece that just another layer of the onion that factored into this being a sort of lukewarm beginning for me, is that that's not how any of this works.
Right.
Like,
they'll come for the money.
Come for the money.
Whether it be the cops or the Dark Hearts.
Correct. Yes.
Somebody's going to want the $1 million in fentanyl drug sales.
That is right. There is almost no chance that you are able to hide and seal off this money so that your kids are the ones with unfettered access to it for the rest of their lives. Like, you know where they're going to look first?
Your kids.
Your kids. Because that is the natural, obvious thing that you probably want to do with this money.
Yeah. I thought about this for a while. It's like, what do? Bury it in the woods, make a treasure map, give it to your kids in an envelope that says don't open until you're 18 or something like that? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's
a really unrealistic plan.
It's unrealistic,
and I think that's
foresight.
Intentional. Like,
yes, I agree.
Given his circumstances, he's having to convince himself there is an out here.
Yeah, as the kids say, he's crashing out.
He is. Yeah. So from there, we're with Tom Brandis getting his ass chewed by his superior, Kath, who says they need to get the shit show under control, basically.
I can't name anything else that Kath has been in, but she always plays this character.
You recognize Kath?
Oh, yeah. She's been in so much stuff. You don't recognize her?
Think Tom Pelphrey reminds you of Jim Carrey, so you can't be trusted. Lizzie lays out the information they have on Peaches, a.k.a. Kenny Pollard, who has a criminal record for assault, and for the past 6 months, he's been employed by a tree service company. And Grasso rolls in late. Got to tell you, during my rewatch, when Grasso rolled in late, I was immediately like, he's the mole!
Yeah, that's...
Because the guy who shows up late...
Yeah.
That's the guy.
That's a red flag, for sure. Maybe a red herring as well. But
it could be.
But definitely a red flag.
At least something to put a pin in.
Here's the thing. He mentions that there was a backup at Wawa. So, like, you got to think that he probably got sidetracked breaking bottles behind Wawa.
Oh, that is really possible. Yeah, that could have been what it was.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
do know he has not been getting any for a while. He could be
Yeah. He probably had a breakup.
lonely, heartbroken guy.
He's not mentioned this breakup, but if I had to guess, his girlfriend left him for a guy named Hellboy.
And he was broken. And he was breaking bottles behind Wawa. Aaliyah lays out that what they think is happening for Kath, that like there's an informant inside the Dark Hearts feeding the crew who is hitting their houses tips, that crew got 12 kilos of pure fentanyl worth $1.5 to $1.6 million wholesale street value. So we were curious because I was talking about like, that's a lot of drugs, man. That's a lot of fentanyl. Like, it's my understanding that with fentanyl, a little bit goes a really long ways, like more so than any other drug that exists. So you cut that up and chop it up properly, you're looking at a lot of money. So if it's only 1.5, 1.6 million wholesale, that means that like that's selling it all at once.
Right.
So you have to imagine whoever chops it up and sells it on the street is looking at tens of millions of dollars or whatever. I don't know, a lot.
At least double, right?
Yeah, I would
probably more.
Yeah. We don't know as much as maybe we should, but yeah.
So another small plot hole here that I'm actually just now thinking about is that obviously with all the talk about how it wasn't supposed to be the fent, it was supposed to be the cash because they were supposed to have made this deal at midnight and then come and drop off the money. And then you think about the text that we now know who sent it. And she's like, this is the one, right? This is the big one. But then there's the line in episode 2 where Robbie is like, this could be worth way more than cash, baby. But it wouldn't, because they would have just sold this for the cash value of it, which would have been 1.5 to 1.6 million. And then that's what they would have robbed.
Yeah, it's curious.
So this is not better than the cash. Well, it's my point, unless they go the route that Ray mentions, which is stepping on it and distributing it themselves. Right. Which might be what they try to do.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if he or his informant biker chick realized that it was going to be that much money.
Maybe not.
And they
That's
maybe
a good
just
point.
didn't understand that. Yeah.
Or maybe the cash was going to go to 2 different places. I don't know.
Who
It's
knows?
a small hole. It doesn't really matter. But I'm just, the cash would have been way better.
They would have been so much better off. so much better off with the cash. Then we bounce over to Jason and Perry, our Dark Hearts, who are going and meeting with Freddie, the dude who runs all the drugs within the city of Philadelphia, based on what we've been told. Jason and Perry let Freddie know they need his help with the Halloween crew, as they call it, that's knocking off their houses. Jason and Perry say their distributors are eventually going to look for other means, because right now they're not getting any drugs to sell. And if they're not getting any drugs to sell, they're not making any money. So they're going to go around the Dark Hearts to another organization to get their wholesale so that they can continue to sell their drugs.
Yeah, okay.
And they also try to sell Freddie on the idea that, you know, if we get cut out, eventually they're going to come for you, and you'll get cut out too. They offer Freddie 25% of the wholesale, and Freddie counters with 50, and then tells them a story about how the first thing he bought when he got money was new teeth, because a couple bikers beat his face in, broke his jaw, knocked out 6 of his teeth, and then they made pee-pee all over him.
Yeah, they whipped out their cocks.
And made pee-pee.
And made pee-pee.
This guy can't stop saying... talking about cocks and whipping them out and pissing on people. Hashtag R. Kelly. So Freddie doesn't like bikers. He thinks they're all racist pieces of shit. He says his product is cheaper, purer, and faster. The only reason that people in the Dark Hearts market out there in the rural areas will buy from them instead of him is because they're all racist too.
Yeah.
Right? He says their product is so stepped on that it literally melts the skin off their clients' bones. And I would note, the Dark Hearts do not push back when he's like, you guys pump your shit and step on it so bad, pump it full of rat poison, and you're literally killing these people. They're just like, yeah, so are you going to help or not?
Yeah.
Freddie demands 50% and says, you either give me the 50% or I'll whip out my cock and make pee-pee all over you.
Monologue number 2 here. How'd you feel about it?
Totally agree. Didn't work.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why.
There was just something.
We're completely on the same page so far.
Yeah.
The Robbie opening monologue and the Freddie monologue, they pretty much hit the exact same for me, where I was like, yeah, I get it. I'm taking the information from it and I'll move on.
Yep.
But I didn't buy this.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
They weren't, and again, they weren't so bad that they took me out of the show necessarily, or made me again, I didn't dislike this episode. The just specific scenes in it, all of which happen to be these kind of soliloquies or monologues, just something about them was forced or something, you know? And I as I try to kind of like work my way around why, again, I think it's weird to introduce us to a character by letting him do this 5-minute monologue about this awful, like, he was a victim of a hate crime. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty brutal.
I don't know, but it just, I know nothing about this guy other than you showed me some pictures of him an episode ago. So I don't know. Like maybe that's part of it. Maybe if we had gotten to know him a little bit, 2-3 other scenes maybe where we kind of know what this dude's about.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just noodling here, but
my take is that these are Taylor Sheridan monologues. These belong in Landman and that type of show.
But Billy Bob Thornton doesn't do the windmill monologue until like episode 4 or 5. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but it's the writing and the acting. Like they just didn't sell it enough. Like I don't believe Robbie when he's yelling in the car, and I don't believe Freddie when he's saying he's going to whip his cock out and pee on everybody.
Yeah.
And also, frankly, the whip your cock out thing being repeated and pissing all over people being repeated just was a little bit of I feel like they thought that heavy of a line was going to bring it home. And instead I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of the same. All of it was a bit heavy-handed. Like even the line, more cocks, right?
Yeah.
You're the ones with the 12-inch cock jammed up your ass or something like that. I was just like, okay.
All right. Doesn't feel like you could have gone any other direction. The guy's just cock obsessed. Freddie. And frankly, this is a show where through the first 2 episodes, every character, as we have said, feels so lived in, so real. It's so incredibly, what's the word I'm looking for?
Authentic? I don't know.
Thank you. God damn, brain fart.
But yeah, maybe
it's authentic.
Maybe that's it. Is that
and then these 2 monologues
Brad Engelsby's
weren't.
shows are typically very authentic, very lived in. And generally, like, people don't get to do these monologues in real life. They're like, this is not something that happens in real life.
Not
right?
really.
They are TV show and movie, affectations, essentially.
Yeah, every time I've caught myself doing a monologue, something bad was happening. Like I thought I was winning a fight and I wasn't, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, Freddie wants 50% or cocks and pee-pee.
Yeah.
Robbie gets a text from his contact within the Dark Hearts, who up to this point we know as MZ, who offers to meet for a swim at 9. Maeve is going through old photos of her dad and Robbie. We see, it's like cut back and forth between Robbie and Cliff driving out to meet their contact and Maeve going through the old photos. We see that her dad used to date one of the main Dark Heart biker babes that we've met already. And that's who Robbie's contact is. That's the rat, the one who's meeting him for a swim. Her name is Erin. So Robbie and Cliff drive out to meet with Erin. Cliff is very angry at Erin for putting them in this situation where they ended up with a bunch of Fent and a 6-year-old kid. Bit of a monologue that Cliff does here. This one I didn't struggle with as much because he genuinely seems like he's like, you ruined my life.
Yeah.
You know, we're screwed. I'm never going to be able to get out of this. What have you done to us?
Erin, I would note here, it's also confirmed for us, she is Jason's wife. That was the rules violation, is that
oh, that's why Jason beat brother Billy to death.
She was cheating on her husband Jason with Billy. That's why he got. Yeah. Yeah.
That'll do it. She tries to give an excuse for why this miscommunication happened, why they ended up with this package of Fent and a 6-year-old or whatever. Robbie tells her he needs help moving the fentanyl. She tells him he can't move it yet because the Dark Heart sat down with Freddie, that she heard Jason talking this morning, and she is smart enough to put together that means they're telling Freddie, hey, if anybody brings 12 kilos of Fent to you, bring it to us. Let us know who did it. Bingo, bango, bungo.
This actor playing Erin is Marguerite Lefleur. Have you got it pulled up there? You can attempt it if you want.
I'll find it while you talk.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff. I don't know her specifically from anything. She just has a very recognizable face, and she's got another good presence. I'm buying her character, so that I like her, and a lot of y'all have probably seen her in a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, I can't find her name, but it's out there.
Yeah.
Google it if you want.
I'll look it up and have it in a second here.
So Erin says she thinks the Dark Hearts are going to get rid of Jason, that Perry is here, and that their plan is working. So this gave us a little bit more depth on what exactly it is that Erin and Robbie are trying to accomplish. So it seems like on top of the explanation that Robbie gave Maeve at the beginning of the episode, which is basically like, these guys killed your brother, we want to take all their money so that we can have a better life for our family because that seems fair.
Yeah.
It also seems like Robbie and Aaron specifically set out to do this with the intention of getting Jason killed. Because he's the head of this area.
That's a good note. Good note.
And when you get replaced, as we have talked about, there's no just retiring from the Dark Hearts. Like, you're either dead or in jail.
Yeah.
Or you just keep working for them.
Yeah.
You can't just retire. So Aaron is under the impression that because of Perry's presence and everything that's going on, surely Jason is on his way out, which means Robbie and Aaron's plan is working. They want to screw Jason, right? So,
actor's name is Margarita Levieva, and you might know her from the 2011 Matthew McConaughey film, The Lincoln Lawyer, the 2009 film Adventureland. She was a running character on the HBO's The Deuce. She's in Daredevil Born Again, which I think started earlier this year, and a few other things. So, shouts to her. Continue.
She looks I expected you to name something else that I know her from, but
she's got a long IMDb. There's probably some other stuff.
Margarita Levieva. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. She's in the blacklist. Okay, so that's not what I know her from, though. She says she has to go and says not to do anything until he hears from her. As soon as she's gone, Cliff walks up to Robbie and suggests that they're on their own now, that Aaron got what she wanted, which is, I guess, Robbie potentially being removed, and that they have to look out for themselves now. And Robbie pretty immediately folds and is like, you know somebody, you got somebody in mind that could help us like move this product? And Cliff does. We'll get to that. The task force learns that the gun used to kill the bikers in the trap house robbery gone wrong was used in a 2017 shootout between the Dark Hearts and a rival club named the Vipers, which I couldn't believe that was the Vipers, where 3 people were killed, apparently. So this was a little bit confusing, and it was unfolding really fast, and I was like, okay, all I'm taking from this is gun match. You got a gun match. But it does get explained a little more thoroughly when Tom and Grasso go and talk to the Dark Hearts here in a minute.
Yeah, and my immediate takeaway was that this was... It's crazy that the FBI task agency is giving the Dark Hearts so much information.
We'll get to that. Pause on that.
Okay, so pause on that. But I was like, okay, so it must have been Brother Billy's gun that Robbie now has.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was kind of hard to do the math.
Yeah, but I do think that's
moment.
where you were supposed to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
did you think that is this where they show the shootout? Did they show it here, or do they not show it until the?
I think they show a little bit of it here, and then they show it to Jason at the meet as well.
Okay. All right. It felt like they were pulling from the thing that happened in Waco a few years ago.
Oh, really? Like that's what the inspiration was, you think?
Yeah, for the shootout between biker gangs. It's like clearly at like an establishment, some type of restaurant or bar.
Yeah, there's a bunch of picnic tables and stuff.
Now, maybe this is just like how it goes with biker gang shootouts, is that one group of them is hanging out somewhere, and then the other group just like rolls
up, and then everything explodes.
And everything explodes. You know, that makes sense too.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Wild West shootout.
But it was reminding me of what happened in Waco in, like, I don't know, that might have been 10 years ago.
It was at least 10 years ago at this point, but it was a huge story, and a bunch of people died.
Yeah.
And Waco was like a peaceful little town that was completely disrupted by biker violence.
They were just getting, they were just recovering from the other Waco incident.
Oh, yeah. They've had some shit go down in Waco, man. And at the university as well. Art Biles?
David
Duchovny.
What's the guy? What's the crazy leader guy that locked everybody in?
Now, this should be an easy Google.
David Koresh.
There it is. David Koresh. Yeah.
I beat Google.
Shout out to Waco. So Aaliyah and Lizzie go to Peach's former place of employment and let his former coworkers know that they're looking for information about Peaches in order to try and save this 6-year-old boy named Sam. Of course, there's one tree worker who just
looking sheepish.
Well, no.
That
just can't stop. He's like cracking jokes about a lack of boobs. And
right.
So Aaliyah puts him in his place and explains that there's a reward for any helpful information they might get. And that's when there's one dude who's looking sheepish.
Yeah.
They directly show him being like, man, I might know something.
How'd you feel about the Aaliyah takedown?
It was sort of like half bore. Like she didn't go all the way.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the monologue her character has later in the episode.
Yes, that one was good.
That one hit.
This one was, again, I was like,
yeah, I'm with you. It was, like I said, half bore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
So, older white dude with a white beard seems like he might be down to talk to them. Tom and Grasso roll into the Dark Hearts bar looking for Jason. They showed Jason footage from the shootout in 2017. Perry, of course, walks up almost immediately and forces his way into the conversation. Tom tells Perry, inexplicably to me, that they got a ballistics report that confirms the weapon that was used to kill Warren Clark and Joanne Nance was the same one that killed two Vipers at a shootout in 2017, which means the murder weapon belonged to someone inside their gang. Now, let me get through the rest of what gets shared here, and then we'll talk about the what or the why. Tom and Grasso also tell Perry they have a leak. He knows it, and they know it. Perry says he doesn't remember who was with him at the shootout in 2017. He says something stupid like, I can't even, if you asked me what I had for breakfast, I couldn't even tell you. Yeah. Which was a little eye-rolly. Jason says they have their own ways of finding the little boy Sam, and it doesn't involve either of these cops, and Perry says, get the fuck out. So why? I mean, immediately I was like, this feels like a huge error.
Yeah, they're going to get somebody killed.
Because now couldn't the information about the 2017 shootout help them figure out who had the gun and who the rat is the same way we surmised?
Correct.
Oh, this probably means it was Billy's gun and that Robbie has Billy's gun.
Yes.
So they could pretty quickly figure out it was Robbie.
Yeah, totally.
I do not for the life of me know why they would share this information with them unless maybe it was like whatever headway they can make is also good headway for us.
I guess that's possible. I guess, yeah. But I thought that was a gross oversharing of information that could and maybe will get somebody killed.
And backfire, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. Fun little scene for the most part, but I was super confused about what on earth would possess them to give that level of specifics to these guys. Basically being like, we know you've got a rat.
Yeah.
Maybe this will help you find it.
You're right.
Couldn't that, it's like, we're doing The Wire right now on Patreon, as I said up top, but there's a situation in The Wire, I'll give as much of a spoiler-free version of it as I can, where a criminal is helping the police with information, but at the same time is also massively undermining their investigations by going and doing his own version of revenge.
Yeah.
That seems like exactly what would be prone to happen here.
Yeah.
Like, you're giving it to him thinking maybe this will help shake things up, but in reality, I think what you're giving them is a way for them to deal with it and therefore screw your whole case up. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it won't backfire as badly as it seems like it will, but that seemed like a misstep.
Do you think they're here at Lefty's Tavern, I believe it's called? It's clearly the middle of the day. They're on working hours.
And everybody's boozing?
Everybody's boozing in the bar. Jason's just like sipping on a beer. Perry's over there with like a whiskey neat.
Yeah.
You think everybody's just like boozing all day long?
Dude, I had the same thought because like
if you're in a biker gang, you just
day drink every day.
Drink every day. Like I feel like there's some sort of decorum. We know this operation's pretty buttoned up, right? Like they're not getting high off their own supply. They're not a bunch of partiers the way that a lot of other biker gangs are there. I just feel like they would at least have a thing where like, let's pump the brakes until 5 p.m. like a normal, regular person.
5 o'clock somewhere rules? Yeah. That's a general rule of thumb.
We'll have water and iced tea until it's an appropriate hour for boozing.
Yeah, I'm betting that a lot of people had this same thought process because I was under the impression this was like maybe around lunchtime.
Yeah.
Early afternoon, might have been 11 a.m. And like every single person there either has a beer or a whiskey drink in front of them.
We could be way off. Maybe they're all just raging alcoholics.
I guess, but goddamn, that's. Yeah. And Jason's just sitting at the bar reading the paper, having a beer. I was like, so is this what they do all day? Just boozing at the bar, man? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that's one way to get business done.
Yeah. I don't remember. I can't recall. But I don't think like Tony and Chris and those guys were just sitting around drinking all day long.
Not like early in the day.
No.
They'd booze at night.
Right.
Go to the strip club, go to restaurants. They'd get drunk for sure.
For sure.
But not like...
during the day, they were like, that was like business operation hours.
Yeah.
They were,
Yeah, they're at their offices.
They're doing deals.
You know, the office might be in the back room of a strip club, but it is an office, and no one in there's drinking. They might play a game of pool on occasion.
Sure.
Take a little break.
Who amongst us hasn't maybe gotten a little ping pong in at the office or something like that?
Sure, a little golden tea maybe.
Yeah,
but this was. It definitely cast the dark hearts in a certain alcoholic light. Just put it that way. The internet can be a wonderful thing. Without it, of course, you wouldn't have access to our ever-entertaining podcast. However, with all the data breaches, hacking, and scamming that occurs online these days, it has never been more important to practice safe browsing and make sure you are protecting yourself with a VPN. That's where today's sponsor, Surfshark, comes in. As Surfshark says, using a VPN is like wearing pants. All the important stuff stays private and secure when you step your foot outside. With as much time as I spend on the internet for work, I use Surfshark to keep my personal data safe, protect my identity and browsing history, use public Wi-Fi hotspots without worry, and more. I've got Surfshark set up on all my devices now, so I'm just a couple of taps away from browsing securely no matter where I am. If you've never used one before, listen up. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It is a service that protects your internet connection and privacy online. Using a VPN like Surfshark is the only way to be sure your location and IP address are hidden, your online data is safely encrypted, and your browsing history stays invisible to your internet service provider and other third parties. Surfshark is the VPN that just works better, and it couldn't be easier to use. Once you've signed up, you can use Surfshark on unlimited devices and protect your entire household with one account to stay safe on public Wi-Fi, access content securely, block ads and malware, and get data breach alerts as well. You can even generate alternative emails to stay safe on different platforms by creating a brand new online identity and proxy email with alternative ID. Use it to shield your info, plus avoid data leaks and a spam-filled inbox. Remember, without a VPN concealing your IP address, your online activity is visible to websites and trackers. Use Surfshark to keep your browsing private and secure. Sign up now at surfshark.com/oysters or use code OYSTERS at checkout to get 4 months extra of Surfshark VPN. Surfshark has a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose except the anxiety that comes with unprotected browsing. Head to surfshark.com/oysters or use code OYSTERS at checkout now for an extra 4 months of online safety with Surfshark VPN. Stay safe out there, Clam Fam. Use Surfshark. Details in the description of this episode. So Maeve takes Sam out to a river or something? Body of water.
I think if they're swimming, they're at the quarry, I believe.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Sam yells.
It's a Delco thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's not. It's a geographical differentiation here. Sam yells at some deer to stay out of the road or they'll get hurt, and I was like, there it is again. Fucking deer.
Yeah.
Something's happening there.
It's the Sam kid, man. He's too good for this world.
He is. God, he is. Sam says he never learned how to swim. Maeve teaches him how to float. What did you think was happening here?
Well, I think
What was this scene for you?
I don't know.
Because I had a thing.
I think they want you to potentially be open to the suggestion that Maeve's about to kill this kid.
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought she was going to drown him.
Yeah. But I think we know. But also that.
But do you believe it?
No,
Nah.
that didn't make any sense. Maeve is a caretaker. Like, she is the reason that she sticks around the house is because she can't leave because she knows she's the only
These kids need her.
responsible figure in the lives of these kids, right? So like, I know she's not going to kill Sam, but I do think that it was obvious that they wanted your brain to at least
Consider
that.
Yeah.
Because she could, and then
She doesn't. Yeah.
and she would potentially rid themselves of a lot of problems. And I think that's what, as we've talked about for 2 episodes now, this kid's in a lot of danger.
Yeah, he's in deep shit, Sam.
He's in deep shit. And so I think everybody is a potential threat to his
well-being,
worldly being. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And that was my read as well. I was like, are they trying to get me to buy into Maeve drowning this child?
Yeah.
And, you're hopeful that that's not going to be what happens. And of course it's not. So I think the scene just serves to further the point that this is why Maeve is kind of stuck here.
Yeah.
And that she is the caretaker, and she's a good person with a good heart and good morals, which obviously it's got to be pretty frustrating if you're her surrounded by a bunch of criminal idiots.
Yeah.
But because that's what all these people are,
everybody
man.
Else, yeah.
So yeah. All in all, just kind of a touching little scene where you fall a little bit more in love with Sam and Maeve.
Yeah.
And you have to try to stop yourself because the pain that is inevitably coming down the pipeline at some point.
Maeve, I think you're a much better teacher than your father.
Oh man, they just had to do that, huh? Had to throw that one in there.
But both my brothers were soldiers.
How do I reach these kids? So Emily goes and visits her brother Ethan in prison. She lies to her brother and says their dad is doing well, and he asks about Ethan all the time. I was like, no, he fucking doesn't. He's a drunken mess. Ethan says he knows Tom didn't even come inside and see him when he dropped off his suit for sentencing. They've shaved his head, and apparently that's not what he wanted. He sat down and was like, let's take 2 inches off the top.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, okay, and just shaved his whole dome. Just seems like, as another downside of going to prison, you might not have as much say in your hairstyle choice.
I believe that's correct, yeah.
Ethan says what happened is all his fault, and whatever the judge says, he's just going to have to deal with because it's all his fault. My main takeaways from this scene were that Ethan, mental health issues as they may be, seems like he at least understands what happened.
Okay. Maybe. They're really softening us up on Ethan here.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt. This is not a scene that makes you dislike this kid.
And he's because of what we know about his, I feel like everything they've described, if I had to diagnose, sounds like bipolar, maybe?
Yeah, maybe bipolar, maybe schizophrenia involved. I don't know, but
yeah. But in that realm,
something that requires medication to maintain.
And then there's some other stuff that happens that we'll get to. I don't know. Is it possible that he didn't do this?
I don't think so.
Or that there was some other like
there was a misunderstanding of some kind?
Yeah.
I think where you're going with this, and we don't have to skip ahead, but just to briefly touch on it, when Tom is laying at the bottom of the stairs and he looks up and sees the vision of his wife, you kind of expect Ethan to come up behind her and push her or something like that, but it's just her standing there.
Right.
No Ethan.
Yeah.
So it was just sort of interesting.
It was.
Didn't take me all the way to where you're at, which is like questioning how much truth we've been given, or is there some kind of misunderstanding?
Yeah, does he think he did something and he's confessed to it, but didn't actually?
But he doesn't come right out and say, it's my fault mom's dead, or I killed mom. He just says, it's all my fault.
Right.
It's very generic, right? So, okay, I'll hear you.
And then there's all the stuff from we'll put a pin in that. It had me asking questions because they really we've kind of been more in the name slipping my mind, but the Phoebe Fox character and the Tom side of this kid, I
killed this woman. He's out of control.
I feel bad for him. He's clearly got issues, but he threw his mom down the stairs, man.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, you're set up to see him as a monster.
Yes,
and then you meet him and he's a very regular guy.
Right, which that part for sure intentional. We're definitely doing that. But then, I'll start pulling on the sweater, pulling on the thread. Whole thing might unravel here in a minute.
Okay,
Continue.
Cool. Robbie and Cliff go and visit the dude Cliff thinks can help them move their fentanyl. Some freaky ass looking dude named Ray.
Yeah.
Who I'm shocked has never been cast in Game of Thrones, because that's like a medieval face right there if I've ever seen one.
Well, so this is this was top-notch casting. This dude, this is a face that you would see in one of these houses in rural, out of the city Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, right? This casting and this dude alone, made up for the didn't hit so great monologues in other parts of the episode. This dude was did they go to a prison to find this guy? So good, so believable. What a face, what a character. Yeah.
Ironically, this gentleman's name is Peter Patrikios.
Okay.
That sounds Greek to me.
It does, yeah.
First generation Greek American, born and raised in Overbrook Park section of West Philadelphia. So he's also a Philly guy.
So he is a West Philadelphia guy.
So there you go.
Yeah.
The most recent project he was in was Dope Thief.
Okay.
One episode of Dope Thief.
Yeah, so he's got the right look.
But he's also known for Gotham.
Okay, yeah, he's got a cartoon character.
And these are all one-episode story arcs that he's in.
Yeah.
Boardwalk Empire, one episode. Gotham, one episode. Blacklist, one episode.
He really does. He's got that face. He's got,
Look, this is a typecast character.
Yeah.
In Blacklist, his character's name is Pee-wee. In Gotham, his character's name is Paulie Pennies. Okay? So, yeah, we get it. It's the most Philly dude ever. So, yeah, Ray looks crazy as hell, and his girl Shelly is there as well. Ray is apparently recently out of jail. At one point, Cliff was his cellmate in jail. That's how they know each other. And Ray is dressed like a referee, which at first I was just like, what is this? Just how this guy, he just wears the fucking Foot Locker costume every day? But no, he's actually refereeing like a men's
rec league. Yeah.
Rec league. I'm assuming as part of his parole. Pretty evident immediately that Shelly is like a victim of domestic abuse, the way he intimidates her near the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Ray suggests that they should go to Freddie to move their dope. They explain that they have to go outside normal channels, and Ray immediately surmises that it's stolen dope. He explains that their two options are cut it up, step on it, move it yourself, or there's some dude named Lee Whitehead, who we don't get a lot of information about. Not important, at least yet. Ray is going to reach out and set up a meeting, and they do make it, like, I didn't pick up on this during the scene, just to be honest, but I was like, why do they keep showing Shelly by the door? With the door cracked, like listening, which is clearly, in hindsight, a big tip that like something fishy is going on here. Aaliyah and Lizzie go meet with Peach's former coworker, who has information about them. This is the older white dude named Denny with a white beard. Turns out Peaches talks a lot. He told Denny a lot, bragged about hitting houses, robbing drug houses with Cliff Broward. He's just throwing out his buddies' names too. What the hell, Peaches? Denny says Peaches even told him how they located the drug houses by going through their trash because Cliff works at a waste company. So Aaliyah immediately calls Tom, and Lizzie texts Grasso the address for Cliff Broward. Now, this is the second time during my rewatch where I was like, Grasso, no! Because I don't think it's Lizzie. I think we should all be pretty confident if there's a rat, it's not Lizzie. I don't think it's Aaliyah. So that leaves Grasso.
So okay. It's possible that they are putting all the flags on Grasso
As a big red herring.
and then it's Lizzie. I
Maybe. Okay.
I could see that.
Some kind of twist like that.
Yes. But
And there's some reason she had to do it too.
Yeah.
Like they had something on her.
But yes, obviously the arrows are all pointing in a blinding light
Right at Grasso right now. Yeah.
At Grasso. What was I going to mention here? Oh, Denny telling the story was so good and so funny. I loved how he was he recounted. He was like, he pulled the cash out of his pocket. He put $3,000 right under my nose, and he said, "Smell this, you old prick." It was just very like he was painting a picture.
I mean, you believed it. You could tell.
Yes,
it was annoying to him that the kid did that.
I could picture Peach's old, sagging his jeans ass on the work site.
Yeah.
Just like being a total dickhead about this.
Yeah, look, we didn't get to know Peaches for long, but you could tell he was a bit of a slapdick.
Yeah.
And turns out, yeah, man, you can't yap your gums like this. Fucking idiot. So when the task force gets to Cliff's house, things start moving really quickly here. It has already been hit. The door has been kicked open. They go in, and guess who they find inside? It's Ray and Shelly trying to go and steal the dope before they can sell it.
I feel like they were really, really playing on the famous, shocking Mare of Easttown scene here. Because, I was just, hiding under the blanket on my couch waiting for somebody to get headshot.
Yeah.
Because with these two idiots in here.
Yeah, this guy, what's his name, Barrett? The guy who made this show?
Brad Inglesby.
Brad Inglesby loves to do close quarters, police. Something terrible could happen at any moment.
Yeah.
We've already done it twice this season with the house robberies, and now this was another one where absolutely I was expecting something worse than what happens to happen. But Ray does get thrown down the stairs. I'm sorry, Tom gets thrown down the stairs by Ray when Lizzie freezes up and fails to help him out. But they do end up arresting both Ray and Lizzie. Tom gets a grade 2 concussion, has the vision of his wife at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, so he gets thrown down the stairs, which is exactly what happened to his wife. Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to his wife, except she died.
Yeah.
And he's just badly concussed. But that's how it is with falling down the stairs. It's all a dice roll there.
Yes.
Like you could be completely fine with just a couple of bruises,
or you break your neck and
you could literally, that could be the last steps you ever see.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, clearly some irony there with like, oh, this is how his wife died. Now it's happened to him. Oh no. Robbie and Cliff drive by and see that Cliff's house is surrounded by cops. They have no idea why, but obviously concerning to them. Back at the Dark Hearts bar, Perry goes and pulls the head mother hen bartender away from a conversation with Erin and questions her about a potential rat in their club. This lady's name is Dee. Perry wants to know what does he keep saying? He's like, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing, Dee? Tell me what you're seeing that I'm not, Dee. And she throws some dude named Shane under the bus.
Yeah, old skeleton arms. Similar to the police. I'm like, what are you doing, lady? This guy's gonna get. You're talking about this guy. He's got kids. He's gonna get murked now because you're yapping your gums too.
This dude's PTSD flared up and now he's gonna die.
Yes.
She even says it. She's like, yeah, it's just kind of like when he got back from the war and he kept having issues. But yeah, he's a mess. His wife said so. Maybe it's him.
Like, do you not know how this gang works, man?
That was a real bummer. I felt super bad for Shane.
Yes, me too.
He's gonna get it. Poor Shane. Tom and Grasso question Ray. He doesn't give them shit, but of course Aaliyah and Lizzie break his girl Shelly because Aaliyah shares this story about being domestically abused herself, and it connects. So she reads Shelly. Aaliyah does. She's like, yeah, like a book. Pretty sure this chick is in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
I've got this scar on my face and a story to go with it. I'm going to drop that on her, and it works. Now, I did find myself asking in my rewatch when I was putting together our rundown, is this really Aaliyah's story? Or does she just know how to do her job at an otherworldly level?
I think it could go either way. Question. I also think that we are slightly biased due to our Wire rewatch, where we watch the flip of this happen.
Oh yeah,
with McNulty and Bunk.
Right, where they make up a story.
An interrogation.
They make up a story about the guy that got killed's family.
Yes.
They even show him pictures of the kids, but it turns out those are Bunk's kids.
And it's
this
super
cop's
believable,
kids.
and they're just using it. And so I feel like that has kind of colored our read of what happened here, because I'm pretty sure this was just like very authentic and heart wrenching, and she had to go to a place that she didn't really want to do, and then. She talks a little bit about this in the after the episode, but like she's got to tell this story right in front of this new coworker that she doesn't even know very well.
Right.
So that's kind of a thing.
Yeah, you almost expect them to walk out of the room and for Lizzie to go, so is that story real?
Right.
And then Aaliyah go, nah, I got this scar playing ice hockey.
Yeah.
Or something silly.
I could have seen it go that way, but I think they would have if the story hadn't been real.
Yeah.
The part that I also wondered here is like, as I thought the delivery was great, the story was like emotional and pulled me in. I kind of thought Shelly was going to be like, have some, cynical retort and kind of like shut her down. So that's the part that I was waiting for, is like, oh, is she just going to she's going to go all out, dropping this story on her, and then she's going to get, she's going to reap no rewards from it.
Right.
And Shelly's just going to like shut her out completely and basically call the story fake, whatever it might be. But no, she gets to Shelly. They flip her pretty easily.
The reason it works is because Shelly is obviously aware that, what's this freak's name? Ray is on parole, just got out, and that this is a massive violation of his parole because he threw a federal officer down a staircase.
Yeah.
So she knows, I get out of this abusive situation if this guy gets locked back up. Yep. That's the motivation to share her story with the feds. So Tom and Grasso go back to Ray. They tell him, hey, your girl just told us all this stuff. You can open up now. Ray tells them what he knows in exchange for dropping the conspiracy charge. Now, the second that he was like, what's in it for me? And they were like, we'll drop the conspiracy charge. I was like, yeah, but they're not going to drop the assaulting a federal officer charge, which is arguably just as bad.
Yeah.
So Ray doesn't know shit about Sam, the kidnapped child.
Yeah.
Ray says Cliff is expecting him to reach out about a meetup, so Tom and Grasso use his phone to get at Cliff. Ray has a Philadelphia Flyers phone wallpaper. They just can't stop at this point. It's just like, you got to have these references. And he uses Snapchat to communicate with Ray, which I did think was interesting because look, I'm not a part of the criminal underworld, but I am also extremely aware that like Snapchat was a hot criminal underworld communication tool like a decade ago. Now they've got all these other apps like Signal, you know?
Yeah.
Just to throw it out there. At one point I had a weed guy who used that Signal was the app that he used. And I had to download this app and like create an account and everything just to create every time I wanted to make an order with this dude. So I'm not sure. My point is, I'm not sure Snapchat is the designated messenger of choice for the criminal underworld, but it is what it is. So Tom and Grasso set a meet at a park for 11 p.m. Ray still gets charged with assaulting a federal officer, a violation of his parole, so he's going back to prison. He's very upset about that, but fuck Ray. Robbie,
Piece of shit.
yeah. I love what Tom says. He's like, good luck to you. Robbie tells Cliff that he's thinking about Canada. Canada is a really beautiful, and he maybe wants to bail there. And the whole time he's giving that speech, I was like, me too, Robbie. Me too.
Talking about a little place called Aspen.
Yeah, Robbie. God, he's really got you on the hook. Robbie says he has a truck driver that used to move shit for his brother, that he used to drive to Canada a lot, that maybe he could get them across the border. And I'm also sitting here thinking, like, both these guys are going to die. They're not going across
What's this
the
called?
border
If
to
you
Canada.
get somebody to cross, you a coyote?
Coyote. Yeah. Or at least that's what it's called when you go
go to
from Mexico to America.
Yeah.
So I assume it's the same.
Probably. Yeah.
Although the coyote analogy does feel specific to the Southwest.
Maybe you're like a wolf if you go
A polar bear?
America to Canada.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be more...
Yeah.
That would be more fitting.
Yeah.
Cliff gets a text from quote unquote Ray setting the meeting at the park for 11 p.m. Tomorrow, I believe. Robbie says he doesn't trust Ray, so they should go scope it out and make a plan before the meet. And I was like, oh, thank God. Finally, someone in this crew has said something smart in this episode.
Yeah, this was smart.
Thank God. Grasso and Lizzie go to a bar and get a drink or drinks. I think they both get... Lizzie's pretty drunk by the end of this.
She sure is, yeah.
They have some sparks, a little bit of chemistry between these two, between DJ Grassanova, DJ Grassanova, and
More
Lizzie.
like DJ Snake in the Grassanova.
Oh, yeah. But then some of Lizzie's former cop coworkers come in and like completely dog on her.
Yeah.
They just like treat her like an
I
idiot.
knew I shouldn't have taken you to a stady bar.
Yeah.
I did Boston there. I don't know. I don't know.
That's as close as
That's
we
as
can
close as I could get.
Now, I did like the way this unfolded because when Grasso's like, yeah, okay, so see you later, it kind of reminded me of like, if this happened on a first date, you'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
I do feel bad for you for what just happened, but also I don't really know you that well, and this has kind of destroyed the vibe. I'm going to call it a night.
Sure.
But then, of course, he goes up and does some like rom-com shit,
He does, yeah.
gets up on the bar, makes a big speech, which, by the way, this would never fucking work. Ever in real life. This was unrealistic to me. Like, if I'm at a bar getting some drinks with my boys and some asshole gets up on the bar and starts making a speech that he expects all of us to pay attention to and then join in on a toast to a random cop that none of us know, I just don't know that I'm going to participate.
He also does like a drive-by on said stadies at a stady bar. I feel like he might get his ass beat.
Yeah, he's like, there's a bunch of really shitty, terrible cops out there. I'm looking at a few over here, these fucking assholes, and they're all looking at each other like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? And all the patrons
This is
are
our
like,
bar.
what's going on here? And he's like, toast to PSP or whatever her weird little title. Again, no civilians know what that means either. Toast to PSP Lizzie over there. She's one of the good ones. Makes me believe that there might still be some good cops out there. This is red flag number 3 for me, though.
This is maybe the biggest red flag.
Because
right?
when he's doing like it made me believe there's still some good, honest cops and police work, I'm sitting here thinking, why would you think that's the problem when clearly Tom is one? Clearly Aaliyah is one. Is it you that's not one?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I also am pretty sure that after he gave the speech, he still left.
He did. He left. Yeah.
So he didn't come back over and go like, hope that cheered you up. Let's keep getting drunk.
Right.
No, date's still over. It's a hell of a move from this guy. He's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. This chick is too weird. What just happened was too weird. I am going to give her a pump-up speech and a big toast with the whole bar, but I'm still on my way out. That was something else.
Well, red flag number 4. He's got a thing to get to.
Oh, Barrett. Oh, man. Grasso, no! So, and prior to the awkward thing where the cops come up and dog on Lizzie, and then it leads to the speech. They're having this conversation where he's like, no, you'll be fine because you're a good person and good people make good decisions. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? I know plenty of good people who have made the nastiest, most selfish, horrid decisions. And I felt like that all played into the whole, like, oh my God, no, Grasso, no, thing. So we'll see. Back at Tom's house, he tells his oldest daughter who's in town with the baby. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, her name's slipping my mind right now.
The bitchy one that seems like she's his biological child.
That's right.
He tells her that he doesn't want Ethan back in the house, which, look, you feel awful for this family. This is a terrible thing that happened.
Yeah.
But also, unless you've had some other reason to believe that things have improved on the mental health side of things for Ethan and that he's no longer a danger to himself or others, then yeah, I think it would be pretty tough to just invite him back into the home, man.
100%. Yeah.
Like, that's a very fucked up situation these people have endured.
Yeah.
But I in no way, shape, or form am judging Tom here is my point. I'm like, this sucks. I feel really bad for you, and that's an awful decision to have to make. But I also kind of understand where you're at.
And just while we're giving people their grace, it's also a shitty situation for his adopted daughter Emily to be in, who's stuck in between, who cares for her biological brother and also this family that raised her, and is in this weird middle area where she wants to
help her brother, but also not screw her family. Yeah.
So sucks for her too.
She comes up and hears the end of the conversation from outside the window.
But the Phoebe Fox line here where she's like, I don't want the same thing that happened to Mom to happen to you. She was so social, and she was like, she loved to hang out and do cool stuff. And then by the end of it, she just like never left the house because she was so consumed by everything that was going on with Ethan. It just, there's a small sliver of like, did she throw herself down the stairs vibe happening?
Did something happen?
Was there another thing that was going on here when she died falling down the stairs?
Yeah, I think that's fair to bring up because
it sounded like her mentals had gotten to a really bad place as well.
Right. So another thing they give us here, it's Aaliyah that drops Tom off, and she has to explain, like, he's got a grade 2 concussion, he's not supposed to drive, he's not supposed to drink, he's not supposed to blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Tom immediately goes and fills up his Phillies cup with Tito's and starts pounding booze. So he falls asleep, and I am taking it as, like, the concussion sort of caused him to have this dream, and he relives.
Yeah.
It's a flashback. But it's with Tom and his wife on the day Ethan and Emily arrive to officially join their family. And his wife is like the nicest woman in the world. Mm-hmm. Very bubbly, very happy, very raw and open. And when you're comparing that with like what the biological daughter of Tom is giving her, like by the end, Mom never even left the house and all that, it does put you in more of a place where you're like, did it just grind her down? Mm-hmm. Or something like, maybe something else happened. It was a slippin' Jimmy instead of an Ethan murder. Who knows? Sure. That also feels like it might be a red herring type of thing.
Totally.
So, yeah.
I also might be just reading way too much into it.
Very much a wait and see. In the morning, Tom's buddy Joe, who knows everything about East Coast biker gangs, I think that's how we were introduced to Joe.
That's that guy, yeah.
Joe tells Tom that the guy who was killed by the Dark Hearts that was beaten to death was Billy Pendergrast. And then Joe tells him that there's a Dark Hearts lieutenant named Brandon who was sitting outside Cliff Broward's house all night. Point being, the Dark Hearts clearly know about Cliff. I was a little confused about where Joe was getting like photos of this car. And if Joe is like just joined in on the investigation, like is he still an active member of law enforcement, or is he just doing this as like a PI type of thing?
Good question. I think he's tapped in somehow, and I don't know.
I mean, he's got all these pictures of the car, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, Joe's an asset.
Bring him in, put him on the force, put him on the task force.
Seriously, so Joe suggests that Tom has a leak in his crew because where else would the Dark Hearts have found out about Cliff Broward? And this is where you're like, okay, is it? They even do the thing. He's like, who have you got on your team, and have you vetted them? And he's like, I didn't vet them, I inherited all of them. And he's like, I like that line. I've got PHP Lizzie, and like her face pops up on the screen. He's like, I've got a state trooper, and like Aaliyah pops up on the screen. He's like, and I got a county cop, and Grasso pops up on the screen. And I was like, Grasso, no! but yeah, that's where they leave us. And the episode ends with Tom showing back up to their task force, former trap house office and opening the door, and they cut us off there with a little bit of a cliffhanger. Yeah. But I don't know. One of my first thoughts when the episode ended was like, I don't think there's a leak.
Okay. I had the same question. I was trying to, I obviously didn't go back and rewatch the episode because it was late at night, but like, I was trying to remember, it felt like there was another way for this information to have gotten to the Dark Hearts.
That is the exact thing that occurred to me. And I couldn't pinpoint it.
I couldn't either.
I went back to the biker bar conversation between Tom and Grasso and the Dark Hearts. And I tried to think, like, was there anything there that could have tipped them off to Cliff Broward?
Right.
And I feel like it is very possible that the Dark Hearts took the information about the pistol that Tom and Grasso gave them, figured out this has got to be Robbie, and then talked to someone else. Who does Robbie hang out with? Cliff Broward. Or when the Dark Hearts kicked in Peach's girlfriend's door last episode.
Maybe she did know something.
Maybe she knew more than she gave the other two when they investigated, when they interviewed her. So I think the whole rat in the task force thing is probably going to end up being a massive loop that they throw us for.
I'm trying to remember the order of events. Do Perry and Jason talk about knowing that it's Tom Brandis before the Dark Hearts bust into Homegirl's apartment?
Yes.
I think they do. Okay.
And they're like, he won't be a problem?
He won't be a problem. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
Okay, so now you're bringing that up, though. Never mind. There's going to be a rat.
Yeah.
Because remember, they say, like, the first conversation between Perry and Jason makes it incredibly evident that they have an inside source. Because how would they know, A, that a task force has been put together already when the task force had not done anything yet, and B, that the head of the task force is Tom Brandis and he won't be a problem.
Yeah.
And now I'm going crazy and I'm saying, is Tom the rat? Why would he say he won't be a problem? Anyway, I think that's very unlikely. But yes, something fishy is going on.
Something fishy is going on. But I'm glad you said that because I had the exact same thought. The episode ended and I was like, isn't there another way that I feel like there was another potential hole where Cliff Broward's name could have gotten out. Obviously, we'll see. I think it makes sense that the only thing, my only rub with it, it's not even really a rub or a knock. I'm just like, oh, okay, they're doing The Departed.
Yeah, a little bit.
With a rat in both.
Two rats.
With two rats, with a rat in each operation.
Right.
If
the show ends with a rat running across a balcony railing, then this is just The Departed.
So that it did remind me of that to have leaks in both camps. I'm sure there are other movies and TV shows that did that as well.
Oh, no doubt.
But yeah, I think like if I'm placing a bet, like obviously it's on Grasso as the rat. I don't because there's obviously just too many arrows pointing at him right now. But I absolutely could see those all being Mr. X, and that it's like. And that somehow it's actually Lizzie.
Or it's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think just to put a little bit of an explanation in there for why I think we both felt this like immediate, well, couldn't there have been another way they got Cliff's name? I think it was that conversation in the biker bar between Tom and Grasso and Jason and Perry. Because you're sitting there watching that going, why are they telling him all this? So by the end, I think that's what's still kind of flagging in the back of your mind. Like, couldn't that have indicated it was Cliff somehow or whatever? But yeah, obviously excited to find out. Like I said, wasn't my favorite ep. Still a really good one. I think it was really just those few monologues that didn't work.
Yep.
That kind of held it back.
And especially now that we're recapping the episode, they basically happen in the first 20 minutes of the episode.
And then you're able to move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was what gave it a bit of a funky feel there in the beginning for the reasons we discussed earlier. So all in all, really good stuff, moves the story along a lot. You still end every episode of Task with this overwhelming feeling that none of this is going to work out well.
No, sure isn't.
Like,
sure not.
Every heartwarming scene we get feels ominous. Like Maeve and Sam out there in the quarry or whatever, floating. Grasso and Lizzie having this nice little coworker drink meetup thing. Any warmth or personal connection feels like a threat on this show.
Yep.
which is just comes with the territory with this genre of TV, but it sucks during those scenes because you want to give yourself those moments of levity and joy, but I'm like, oh, it's just gonna make it that much worse when they all die. So yeah, we'll obviously be back on Monday with our discussion and review of Task Episode 4. We'll also be back later this week on patreon.com/oystersclamscockles to discuss and review Season 1, Episode 9 of The Wire, exclusively on Patreon for our subscribers there who are supporting our show in exchange for more of our show. You can holler at Barrett and I on social media, at Barrett Dudley on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at WR Bolin. If you've got any theories or further thoughts as far as what the hell is going on this show, I would also note for our patrons who are on patreon.com/oystersclamscockles, we will be doing our Wire hotline call episode for the month at some point here in the next 9 days, I guess we've got left.
It's going to be next week. If it happens to be an October date, there's like 5 weeks in October, so you'll still get one at the end of October as well.
Yeah. But because of some work scheduling stuff, that's going to be
next week.
Next week, it might technically be in October, but you'll still get one at the end of October. Point being, Mollusk Militia, do not hesitate to call in about Task as well and give us some Task takes. If we've got time after playing our Wire calls, maybe we can talk a little Task on our hotline call episode for this month exclusively on patreon.com/oystersclamscockles. Support our sponsors. Today we had surfshark.com/oysters, code oysters for an extra 4 months of online safety with Surfshark VPN. You can see the details and the code and the URL in the description of this episode. Until next time, keep doing what you're doing.